Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you, and let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up the screen here. Mountain Pass Materials, they've been hit with a short report. We've seen this before with a lot of other stocks, and it has had an impact on the stock price. We'll see if this is going to be temporary or if there's anything behind it. Let's get into MP Materials. All right, but first in the market, boy, I'll tell you, it's rough right now. Like I said, the NASDAQ's way down over 2%, and a lot of that has to do with Facebook. Facebook came out with bad numbers for them. Most companies would love to have their numbers, but Facebook is a high flyer and a FANG stock, so people expect a lot. And they're only looking for like 3 to 11% growth for next year, and that's not normal for Facebook. They usually have a lot of growth. So there's a lot of negativity out in the market right now, and it's worrying people and concerning them. And it's a dangerous market. It's a very dangerous market.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson. Danger.
That's right. It's a danger Will Robinson market, no question. And now we've got a short report on MP, and MP's one of those that's been flying high. As you can see, the stock, it's been trading in a range from around $38 to as high as almost 50. And it's been sort of staying in there during even this turbulent time. And as you can see, it rose while everything else was dropping. But we did get this short report, and it has really knocked it down by, 14%. So you've got the double whammy. You've got the market, and then you've got the short report. So let's take a look at what this short report says. All right, this comes from Bonitas Research. Not familiar with that one. Most of these short report folks they're questionable. So I always take any short report with a grain of salt, because I understand they're trying to make money off the stock falling. So, you've seen it with many of these different groups. It says MP tumbled 3-month low, and Bonitas Research accuses the company of executing an abusive transfer price scheme with a Chinese partner. Chinese state-owned rare earth metals producer Shenghe owns 8% of MP shares and has rights to production from MP's Mountain Pass mine. And Mountain Pass is the only rare earth minerals mine in North America, and it's very important to this country. Bonitas believes since Q2 that MP and Shanghai executed an abusive transfer price manipulation where Shanghai overpaid for MP concentrates to help their profits, coincided with the SPAC insider lockup expiration so that MP insiders could sell, etc. Then it says a German academic study that concluded MP's ore at Mountain Pass is not economically viable to harvest. I don't know about that either. And then here they've got an article that says MP remains an underrated EV investment, and that's a bullish analysis by Seeking Alpha. They usually do both. They like to cover both ends. Now, fortunately, they've gotten out on Twitter, MP Materials has, and responded very quickly, which is really important. When you get a short report attack, you'd better get on it. It's best not to just sit on it. I've seen both ways, and when you just sit there and say, oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it, that's not a good deal. You need to jump out and say, hey, this is either nonsense or whatever. You need to defend yourself. And here's what MP is saying. It says, sadly, some things never change. Let's welcome the long list of detractors that fail to understand our business, deceptively manipulate competing sets of data, and bet against MP. We appreciate your support. It says false and misleading allegations are time-consuming and levied to expressly serve a purpose. They hurt MP stakeholders and distract from an important mission, but we do not let these things dissuade us. Then it says MP shipped well over 3,500 containers of concentrate in 2021. A single container, the so-called smoking gun, identified by Bonitas Research, was lost in transit and returned to sender like the Postal Service. Thankfully, it was rerouted to its proper destination and is on its way. It says Shanghai is a distributor. They are a price taker, not a price maker. Observe the price of the underlying commodity, particularly NdPr, that drives the price of our product. It's spiking rapidly. And I have not covered MP in a while, so let's take a look at their financials. Their balance sheet, they're in great shape financially. They've gone from $500 million to almost $2 billion on their balance sheet, so their current assets are really good. Long-term debt, let's see, they've got none here. They've very little debt, so that's what, a little over 2 to 1 on their balance sheet, so that's really solid. Always like to see that. Now you can see, good grief, look at this growth. For the 9 months ended, they went from 91 million to 230 million. For the quarter, their last quarter that's been reported, I guess they'll come out with their fourth quarter, and I think they've announced it, that it's going to be on the 24th of February. But as you can see, they've had, good grief, 130% growth quarter over quarter from 40 million to 98 million. Let's see how much money they're making on that. Okay. Total operating cost of $54 million in operating income from 16. So that's almost 3.5 times. So more than triple. Huge growth. I mean, you're looking at over 100% growth in revenue. Outstanding growth. Just outstanding. Here's their net income. Let's see, for the 9 months, they went from losing 45 million to making 86 million. And yeah, the date of the fourth quarter, we'll be getting the full year 2021 financial results on the February 24th. And that'll be good to get that number. And based on their growth and their profit margins, that's probably going to change their PE ratio. If you look at this PE ratio, 95, that's really high. Now, granted, that's a trailing PE ratio. I don't think that's a forward PE. If you did a forward PE, I'm sure that would drop quite a bit because stock is growing like crazy. It's growing like a weed. Revenue, look at this revenue, up 143%, net income up 192%. So that's really strong. Jeez. So that's why that's up as high as it is. So like I said, it's really hard to value a company like this when it's growing like a weed. It just makes it difficult. And that's why the PE ratio looks so high from a trailing PE as opposed to a forward PE. All right, folks, and that's MP Materials today. Like I said, they did answer quite a bit of it, but they need to probably get into more detail and really hit back at this hard. It's best to do that. Like I said, I don't know how accurate this is, if any of this is true or not. I don't know. I know as much as you do. I do own MP Materials. I want you to know that on the top. And I like it, and it's done real well for me. I hate a short report, but, we'll see what happens if there's, they need to probably really address this thing strongly, and hopefully they will. But anyway, that's MP Materials today, and I'm going to continue to hold it for me. It's been a good stock for me. It's profitable as can be, and it's growing like a weed. So I'm going to hold on to it, and hopefully they'll answer to this short report a little bit more strongly. But they did, it's hard when they just pop that out there first thing in the morning. And I'm sure MP Materials folks are over there doing their job, and they're like, oh, crap, here comes this. And to them, it's probably a bunch of crap, but, you really need to address it, probably more strongly than they already have. And that's MP Materials today. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover MP. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And I hope you did like the content. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.